at the middle of May already, 2018, and this year is flying by for me. I don't know about how it is for you, but it's definitely flying by. The last couple of years have, but it seems to be exponential. It's like already it's here. This is a powerful, you all know already, a lot of you already tuning in know, because it's been all over the internet for a while, but it is powerful, very. This new moon that we're popping into, that I'm tapping in here with this channeling, with this art channeling, to tap into your evolutionary cycle. It's always at the new moon point, always has since I've been doing alchemy scopes. And this is a big one. Why? Because it's the Taurus new moon, which is your polar opposite, obviously the opposite portal of your Scorpio archetype. And it's happening at the Uranus ingress into Taurus. So overall for the collective, powerful time. It's a powerful time that is reiterating and driving home the manifest reality that we know is going through a process for the next 7 years of evolutionary change. Our minds, our perceptions about manifest reality are going through an evolutionary change. Everything with regards to earth, body, and everything material that we think we see, okay, is changing. It's evolving. And I'll talk more about that as we go through, but let me go ahead and start to tap in. I am also, after I do this painting, I have my gouache here. I'm also going to pull one of my Siri cards, which I haven't used in a while, or I haven't used publicly for a while on the public channel. So I'll pull a Siri card, and we're going to see what the main growth edge is for you at the end of the reading. So let's take a look at what's coming through for Scorp. I just filmed Taurus. And what I told Taurus is that I pulled out, I don't know if the viewers are going to be able to tell, but I'm using some different colors in the gouache. It's some different yellow, some different blue, and some different red actually too. So let's tap in, Scorpio, and see what forms, images, pictures, symbols want to come through for you that's indicating the growth edge, the natural archetypal growth edge for you over the course of this month ahead. And by the way, also tapping into the next 7-year cycle. So it's not just this month, but because of this ingress of Uranus for the 7-year journey, it's also the macrocosmic cycle of the 7 years and the microcosmic of the month. So it's both, okay? So Scorp, I'm just going to tap in for a minute, and then we'll talk about it. And make sure you can see everything okay. It looks like it. Looks like you can see okay. Okay. I also have my pencils here, which I want to use as well. So, Scorp, I hope you're doing well. It's been, I will say this as I'm doing this, since Uranus has been hanging at the end of this Aries transit, the 7-year Aries transit, recently it's been hanging on a 29-degree point in Aries. And it's been intense. I mean, any 29-degree transit is intense because it's the end of that archetype's activation, so to speak. And it's been kind of full on. So a lot of wounding for many people has been, let's say disruption rather, has been reactivated. Themes of activation that we've been experiencing over the last 7 years has been reactivated. And there's been a bit of a depression or a bit of heaviness, things of that nature. So just know that if you have been going through any kind of recent challenge, that it's just part of it. You know, it's just part of the cycle. Nothing to be vilified. It's just what it is. Just what it is. Scorp, the other thing that I'll say is love your process, love yourself, understand, validate the fact that you and everybody, each individual has been through a lot in this life, you know, and you have valid reasons for feeling certain ways and having certain learning processes and having sadness and depression and anger about stuff. It's all good. It's all valid. It's all valid. And there's other realities. There's other ways of perceiving. There's other ways of understanding that all is well. Even though there's been intensities happening and wounds that have been, brought forward, created in you. It's part of a bigger picture. It's part of your soul's growth. It always is. That's how nature works, and your psyche is no different, you know. So it's very, very, very critical that you love that you fall in love with this intense journey of your soul's growth. Especially now, you know. For those of you inclined, I would say please watch the Taurus reading too, because I went into some detail in that reading. I did that because it's their new moon happening. So obviously we have a butterfly here, but there's something that I definitely want to talk about with regards to it. It's interesting because if I'm not mistaken, last month you also had very kind of big, bold images, which is not necessarily the case. It's not at all, in fact, the case for every sign. It's very different. But for you, you're getting very kind of, clear, bold imagery, which I find kind of fascinating, actually. For those of you interested in connecting with my patron group. We get together weekly for live streams. They're called potions. The link is below. So there's many benefits to becoming an $11 a month patron. Some of those are weekly live streams. So if some of you are feeling like you'd like to connect in these group calls, these group sessions where I talk about the astrology, the symbology, and also provide a portal where you connect with your intuitive guidance for the week, you are invited to be in touch with that. Especially now, it might be a good time to, you might feel more of an inclination lately, or you might in the upcoming weeks or months. So that's on offer for you. I will say too, Happy Mother's Day before I forget. Happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers out there. If you're not on my e-blast list, my newsletter list, I invite you to go there as well. I just sent out an e-blast about mother. You know, the root of mother is mater in Latin, which is matter. Matter, like to matter, like physical matter. So I love that Mother's Day is so close to this Uranus ingress into Taurus, because Taurus is all about manifestation. Taurus is all about matter. And mothers, the idea of mother, even Mother Gaia, brings forward all matter, right? So the immaterial becomes material through mother. So happy Mother's Day, okay? For those of you with metaphysically oriented mothers, I have some gift offerings, gift certificate offerings that are available right away. So the link will be below the video, okay? All right, beauties, I think this might be it. This might be it. One more thing. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about what's happening here. Now I want to talk about this first. I'm also going to get my charcoal pencil here too. This Scorpio came first, okay? And what I was getting as this was coming through was like a sphere, almost like a snow globe, okay? But not a snow globe, a glass sphere. And what I got with this tree, if you can see here, there's a pine tree here in the middle. And what I get with the pine tree is that you're seeing with a different lens, that this sphere of glass is offering a perspective of the microcosm, but that you're seeing it in a whole way. So that there's a new way by which you're seeing life, by which you're seeing matter, by which you're seeing nature, okay, by which you're seeing life. But this lens is in green. Do you notice? I mean, I have a selection of colors here below me. Here, the green is the sphere, and green is representing new growth, new seeing, new glass, new lens, and not just that. But then the eye wanted to come through, and with blue. So blue is definitively talking about a spiritual lens, a blue eye, at least in this symbology. It's not that everybody with blue eyes is spiritual. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is in this symbology, the blue wanted to be seen. You know, I could have not filled it in at all, but blue was the color of that iris. So this is about, in terms of the frequency of color and the symbology, what it brings forward. It does talk about communication. It does talk about spiritual connection, spiritual orientation. So for you, what I see with this blue eye is, and it's big. Do you notice how huge the eye is? and there's a butterfly underneath it. So it kind of doesn't stop. But here we see a new growth, a new iteration of your view, of your perspective. It's green, it's growth, and it's a new way of looking at life, of living systems. Now for that, you need to be in contact, right? Because that's really my work, is all about the nature of the soul as a living system, right? So here, there's a new way of seeing, a new growing, matured way of seeing life. Okay, now this is talking about this next month ahead, mid-May to mid-June 2018, but it's also talking about the next 7-year cycle, microcosm, macrocosm. Here with this eye with blue, there is over this cycle a big way of communicating spiritually, a big way of seeing spiritually, a big way of perceiving spiritually, maybe even believing them spiritually, because there's a reorientation. Now, the eye shadow, because this is kind of a glamorous eye, right? With big lashes, you know, and a big, like, fairy-like, fantastical, fantasy-oriented swirl at the end of it, you know. But there's something kind of big and loud and maybe on stage kind of thing, because there's this big eye with the gold makeup, eyeshadow, okay? So this gold eyeshadow with the blue is really popping, number one, like complementary color popping. And the yellow that I chose today actually does, I mean, this is new, obviously. I haven't put my blanket behind this thing before, but this wanted to happen for just to have the background nice. Until I can get my artboard out of storage, this is what I have. So, but the yellow that I chose today is different than I've had in other months, previous months in 2018. And it really does pretty much match the yellow of this, which is new for me in incorporating. So there's something very bold about this yellow. This is the emanation of you. It's the solar emanation of your persona, your personality. There's a bigness and a flair with regards to communications, spiritual communications, and seeing. It's almost like there's this big drama in the way that you're seeing things, but it's not that it's not truthful. It could be that for some of you, that is the growth edge, that there's almost like, you know, with Chiron just moving out of Pisces into Aries last month, and then with this Uranus ingress into Taurus, both of those combined is a massive narrative, which I'll probably talk more about. I've talked about it with my patrons, but I'll probably also talk about it on the public channel. But it's huge. It's massive. And it could be that for some of you, the growth edge is you are seeing, some of you are seeing with fresh eyes, via spiritual eyes, about life and what's happening. But it could be maybe overly dramatic, or maybe there's a storied way that you're seeing it that maybe isn't rooted or grounded in reality, or rooted or grounded in, I don't know, the balanced reality of all that is, like multiple perspectives. So I just want to point that out too, because this for me is seeing clearly, right? It's focusing in, could be a hyper focus for some of you, but it's seeing nature through a fresh lens. Here it's about seeing and communicating spiritually. It does have a flair to it that doesn't have to be negative, but it could be that a lot of you are maybe on stage, on YouTube, on blog, on, you know, writing a book, and on some sort of a stage with regards to what you're bringing forward. That's what that could represent. And it could be some of you are seen dramatically that isn't grounded, and that's the growth edge. But others of you are seen very much so. There's definitely, for a lot of you, because there's no accident why here, you know, we have this, butterfly that's right underneath the eye. It's right underneath the iris, essentially. So this is definitely talking about transformation of vision. Right? I mean, it's pretty juicy. It's really pretty juicy. So Scorp, I'm going to go ahead and pull a card for you. I do feel. Now let's talk about the dots, okay? So the This obviously is red. The butterfly is red. It came out kind of pink and orange, but the red was the color of the gouache paint. Obviously, red does evoke energy. It also evokes anger and rage, passion, that which really juices you up, that which drives you and motivates you. There's a driver, or let's say there's an energy underneath or activating huge transformation. Why huge? Because this is a massive image here, this butterfly. So there's this massive transformation that's energized over the course of this month and over the course of this next 7 years. In addition to that, there's these blue dots, and the blue for me is evoking the eye. It's evoking the vision. So there's transformation of vision that is spiritual in orientation, and it's more committed. I think that there's more of a commitment maybe to communicate that which you know to be true, the transformation that you've undergone over the last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, last 3 years, last 3 months. So for those of you who have been transforming, there's a motivation to bring forward that communication. I think new seeing, new drive to communicate spiritual truths. And there's a holistic narrative here. So you're able to see more holistically, a lot of you. Not everybody watching is going to have this, but you're going to be motivated toward it. This is a growth edge. We're talking about a natural cycle of your evolution, right? This is powerful, everybody. Now, the other thing that I want to say is, see in the background, there's this brown horizon line. It went in between the upper and lower wing of the butterfly, and it went underneath the sphere. Let me look at this for a minute. I mean, certainly it's talking about soil. It's talking about new soil. It's talking about that which hasn't been cultivated, or for me, what I get, it's fresh soil. That's what I'm getting with this. It hasn't been, seeds have not been planted in it yet. And it hasn't actually had a harvest yet. It's fresh. It's like new land. That's what I get. I get that this is new land. And so there's new land, new perspective, new opportunity to grow new fields. And Taurus is about the earth. It is about the soil. It is about manifest form. It is about agriculture. It is about food. Now, for those of you, I think I mentioned earlier, I'm doing this May Mastery fast and cleanse throughout this whole month of May. Find me on Instagram. I'm posting daily on Instagram for those interested in clearing the body system in order to get clean and clear mentally, emotionally, physically, everything. It cleans everything. I've done this many times in the past. I'm doing it again. This 7-year cycle will evoke a new reality. It will evoke new clarity for the masses when it comes to animal agribusiness, the industry of agriculture, how food is processed, how it's farmed on the mass, and the changes that are necessary. So the whole food system topic could be, for some of you out there, this could be talking about new realities when it comes to earth, soil, gardening, food, agriculture. For others of you, and it could be diet related for some of you. So some of you can really be pulled into a new way of thinking and seeing when it comes to your food that you're ingesting, because as within, so without, right? But for others of you, this is about just fresh perspective. This is about a new horizon. It's about new potential with regards to what seeds are you going to plant. And I get that this is what the eye is also talking about. You're able to see with fresh, clear eyes, the bigness, the whimsy even of life and living systems. This is a play. We're living a play. We're playing roles on a play on a big stage right now. That's what we're doing. So you better believe that this could be talking about, you get it. Some of you are going to get, this is just a game. This is just a play. Okay? And we're not going to take the ego identity of this embodied wounded narrative so seriously. Some of you, that's going to be playing out, which is good. If that's the case, excellent. You're on the right path. Okay? But this could be easily, this horizon line of soil, fresh soil, Could be talking about, wow, there's potential out there. What seeds are you going to plant? This is the month to really tune in and take care of your spiritual ritual. Take care of your mind-body system. Clear yourself. Clear yourself. It's time to honor your vehicle so that you can actually run energy correctly. Okay, so thealchemyofholism.com. Go there if you want to be in contact with me. Okay, so I'm pulling from my Siri deck. Okay, and we're going to pull a main growth edge for you for this month ahead and for the next 7-year cycle as well. Macro, micro. Scorp. Do you see that, Scorp? Do you see what this card says? It says higher forces. Do you see what the image is? Let's see if I can get it right side up. Do you see what that image is? It's an eye. Okay? Higher forces. This is your narrative. This is the growth edge. This, my darlings, is no accident. This is no accident. I. You are seeing with fresh eyes. You are to see with fresh eyes. You are to get clear. You are powerful. You are to stand up. You are to wake up, stand on your own 2 feet. Work to do. Work to do. Okay? So powerful. Really powerful. There are 144 cards in my Siri deck. This is what came for you. Look at that. I and I. Not only I and I, but sphere. Seen through a new lens. Really big. Huge. Look at that, everybody. Huge. I am sending you all so much love. I am planning to, I've been planning for a while to bring forward more videos on this channel. And for a combination of reasons, it just hasn't been the right time. The clean flow of the information has not yet been ready to come through, but maybe it's emerging. It might be soon. I think it's going to be 2018 for sure, but maybe it's soon, you know. Maybe this new moon for me will evoke it. I'm a Scorpio sun, so who knows? So I'm sending you all so much love. Be in touch. Understand your soul print. Understand your archetypal encodings. Get clear so that you can allow it, so you can be easy with it, so you can not resist your encodings, so you cannot resist who you are, why you're here, what you're here to do, what the mastery trajectory is, right? Don't resist. That's the suffering. Allow, play with your manifest form, play with the reality of why you're here and what you're here to evolve and grow. Get clear on it though. You got to start by getting clear on who you are and why you're here, what's encoded, what's the narrative, what's the trajectory, right? So much love. You're powerful. Talk to you soon. Bye.